Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than my normal DIY videos. Today I'm going to kind of go over some topics that I've experienced, as well as when I do my one-on-ones. Other people tell me that they've experienced as far as getting into the craft space, as far as turning your hobby into a profit or turning your hobby into a business. And so I have some things I wrote down. So I'll be looking down at my notes, and this is in no particular order. I'm just gonna kind of go through each topic as I wrote them down. And if you have any questions, of course, just drop them below in the comments or give me your feedback and let me know if you've experienced any of these points that I'm about to go over and how you overcame them. Okay, so as far as mistakes that I see a lot of new business owners make would be branding and registering your business. Now, that's gonna vary as far as registering your business. It's gonna depend on the state that you're in, things like that. So you'll probably wanna check with your Secretary of State website and look up that information for your particular state. But say if you're doing a DBA, doing business as, you'll wanna register a fictitious business name with your state so no one else can use your name. So, and as well as if you're going to, and that's say if you're going to be a sole prop, or if you're going to go ahead and go the LLC route, you'll want to look up for your state as well on the Secretary of State website as far as the requirements to do so. Also with that, you can definitely reach out to USPTO. Well, not reach out to them, but go to the USPTO website if you want to trademark your name. That way nobody else will be able to use it or take that name from you. So that can cost a few $100s, right around there, to get it done. You can try doing it yourself. I would suggest, speak with someone that has legal expertise in that area and then take it from there. As far as branding, when you're thinking of branding, kind of think of the long term. Think of your long-term goal. So don't just think of the first name that comes to mind, unless unless you have a business name or maybe a social media name that you've been going by and you want to use that for your business name. That's definitely a way to go too. But you really want to think longevity. You want to think, okay, what if I scale up my business? What other things do I want to do in the future with my business? So make sure that the name, your brand, it makes sense for what it is that you're going to be offering, selling, making, whatever the case may be. It's okay to rebrand. So I have rebranded. I was selling rhinestones for years, and I rebranded because I started to get into, well, not really get into other crafts, but focus more on other crafts. I felt personally when I was selling rhinestones, I more so wanted to make stuff with the rhinestones versus packaging them up, shipping them out for someone else to make some stuff. But I just felt like I wanted to get more behind designing and creating versus selling just the rhinestones. And it's very tedious. Now it's very profitable, but it is tedious, and it was something that I decided to back away from. Now that could change in the future, hint, hint, but I'll leave it there. I'll leave that there. You want to have a business plan. You want to have goals for, your business. Short-term goals, long-term goals. I set daily, weekly, monthly, yearly goals, regardless of what is regarding my personal life, my business life, my content creation. So I have goals set for everything. That's just the type of person that I am. And get into business, when you're getting into business, make sure it's something that you're passionate about. Don't just get into business just because you see this business is doing successful or they're doing good with what they're making, or you see this content creator and they're doing well with their business. Make sure it's something that you care about, something that you're passionate about. Otherwise, it'll go from you having a business or you having a hobby that you're turning into a business to then it's just going to seem like work, and it's going to be hard for you to really stay focused and really scale up your business if it's something that you're not passionate about. So really write down a list of your names, of like some different names. When I first started out with my first business many years ago, I would always brainstorm. I would write down 5 to 6 names, and then I would eliminate from there. And then I would decide, okay, this is the name I'm going to choose, the last one standing. So I would suggest for you to do that as well. Kind of make some pros and some cons, or just kind of brainstorm, write down your ideas. That way you'll have something to pick and choose from. You can kind of change things around to your liking, and then you can settle on your final name, or whether it's for your brand, your if you're a content creator or business owner, whatever you're going to be using the name for. So always have your goals and make sure it's something that you're passionate about. That way it's something that you're always going to want to do. Next would be for making your garments and your products. I highly suggest that you make your garments on test samples, or like a cheaper fabric when you're making your samples and things like that, or when you're testing out a design. Normally what I like to do is when I have a 50% off coupon, I will go to Joann's. I'll buy a bunch of felt or their cotton fabric, like 10 yards of it, and I will use that as my test for testing for my samples, things like that. Don't use your garments that you're going to be selling to your customers to test on, because you're going to be wasting money. What if something goes wrong? What if you need to edit your design? What if you need to resize it? So always test and your designs and make your samples from a cheaper quality product than what it is that you're going to be giving your customer. That'll save you a little bit of money on the back end. And that way you're not wasting that more quality, that more expensive garment that you're looking to sell. So I would definitely say, and make your samples. You'll want to make samples. You're going to have to take photos to show people what it is that you're selling, to put on your website or your Etsy or your Go Imagine sites, whatever it is, wherever you're selling that, or if it's just you're posting on social media, you'll want to make samples so people can see what the final product is going to look like. Wholesale vendor accounts. This is something that I personally regret that I didn't do in the very, very beginning. And this is, I'm talking probably like 8 years ago, probably even more than that, where I was not setting up wholesale and vendor accounts so I could get that discounted price. So make sure that is something that you'll definitely want to do. This will save you a ton of money in the beginning. Some vendors, they will require that you have your seller's permit for your particular state. They may require your tax identification number, your EIN, or whatever additional information. But a lot of them are going to ask for either your tax ID number or your seller's permit. Not all of them, but a lot of them do want that information. Even if you're a sole prop and you're not like a LLC or anything like that, they're going to ask for that information. Some, not all. So, and you'll save a ton of money. Now, there's nothing wrong with going to like Michael's and Joann's. Trust me, I'm on a first name basis with the majority of the staff at the Joann's right by my house. So I go there a lot. But it's not always for fabric. Sometimes I might just go in there to get some wax melts or, you know, grab a t-shirt or something like that. But even though those stores are there and they're convenient, for example, I get a lot of my shirts from S&S Activewear, and now I like Bella Canvas when I'm making my shirts for my customers. When I'm making test shirts, I will use Gildan, but my shirts that I send to my customer, their design is going to be on a Bella Canvas shirt. Now, Michaels has Bella Canvas shirts for, I want to say $9.99. I think they even went up to $12.99. But at S&S Activewear, I can get that same Bella Canvas shirt for about $3 to $4. So you see the difference there? You're gonna save a lot of money. I can get probably 3 shirts for the price of what I could get for one at Michaels. So just keep that in mind. If you want me to drop a list of vendors that I use, or you know, if you have any questions about any particular vendors, if I've used them or I have any knowledge of them, I'll definitely give you feedback on that. But I can definitely drop a list of vendors in the description box if you guys want me to. So wholesale vendor accounts, you definitely want to get those set up right away before you even make your first sale. Get those set up. They're free to set up. They're not going to charge you. Again, some of them you could just go ahead and get an account set up. Other ones, they're going to request certain documentation from you. Just check with them to see exactly what it is that they need. If you don't have that, ask them if there is something else that you could submit. A lot of times they'll work with you so you could get that account set up. Advertising and marketing. Now, there's a few different ways you could go with this. So you could do Google, of course. I mean, why not? Especially if your website hosting company, I use Wix, and they have it set up, built into the website where I pay them on the back end, and they do everything that needs to be done to get my information pushed out on Google. So I'd rather just let them do that. I do have a Google business account, and you know, I go on there and I've made sure everything's updated, added photos, you know, I try to stay current with that, but I don't always. So I prefer to just pay somebody else to do that part. They know what to do. They know the keywords. They know how to do SEO. So I'll leave that to the experts. So Google is one way. Social media, of course, is going to be another way. As far as getting online, showing your products, maybe showing DIY videos, showing you making your items is really helpful on both this platform and TikTok. At least those are the two that have been really, really helpful for me. I'm not too active on Instagram. I am on there, but I honestly forget about it sometimes. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me post to Instagram. Pinterest is another good one where you can market, because you can leave links on there. And so when you post on there, you can put links to have it linked to your website, your social media, or that particular product or whatever. And I've been using Pinterest for, I'd say about 5 or 6 months now. And it is a slow burn, so you're going to have to build it up over time, but it is very consistent, and I notice it does bring me in business as well, a lot of views, because I also post links on there to like my YouTube tutorials or my TikTok videos, as well as products that I made to take people directly to my website. So Pinterest is another good one. Another good one that has really, really been helpful for me over the last few months is the Nextdoor app. And that is it's an app, I believe it's available in all across the states. I'm not sure if it's available outside of the US, but the Nextdoor app is basically for locals. And so you sign up, and it's based off of where you live. So you'll be put into whatever subdivision or area of the city that you live in, but you'll be able to see, it'll be for all across the area that you're in. And so that has brought me a ton of local business. And that is kind of the direction that my business has been shifting into, is a lot of local orders, whether it's for embroidery, custom tutus, custom t-shirts, patches. So it's definitely has helped grown my local footprint here in Las Vegas. So I really have been enjoying this app. It's kind of like a Facebook for neighborhoods, the way it's set up if you haven't used it. And so you could post on there. They have a for sale tab, or you could just post on your profile, and other people post, and you can read their posts, and you can like it, you could share it, you could comment on it. That's why I say it's kind of like a Facebook but for neighborhoods, or for a particular city or area that you're in. But that is something that I have been really wanting to get into, was more local business, word of mouth, getting my business out there locally, and that app has actually helped a lot. So I would definitely say Google, of course, is going to be number one. Social media, Nextdoor app, if you haven't tried it, I would definitely say try it if you're looking to expand and you want to have those local clientele, or that local clientele. Next, pricing. And this is one, when I do one-on-ones with people, this is one that they always get hung up on, or they get stuck at. Establish your pricing. First things first, do your research on your particular market, your craft, whatever it is that you're going to be selling. Kind of do some research. See what other business owners are doing, how they're pricing their items, if it's similar to the items that you're making. But you also, when you're thinking about pricing, you want to not just consider, okay, if I get an order for a shirt to embroider, I'm not just looking at, okay, how many stitches is it going to take to embroider this, and that's how I'm going to charge. No. I'm actually going to charge for that shirt if I have to digitize the design, the thread, the stabilizer, like all of that, my time, all of that is going to go into that price. So don't just say, okay, this shirt costs X amount of dollars, so I'm gonna mark it up and sell it at this one specific price, because you may be let's see, how can I say this? You're probably gonna be taking a loss in the long run. It might not seem like it in the beginning, because maybe you're getting orders and you're not really noticing or paying attention. But in the end, it could come back to bite you if you're just having a set price for everything across the board. You don't want to do that, especially with embroidery, because the projects are going to change. The design size, you may have to resize a design for a particular size or something like that. So just know, do your research, make sure you're charging for all of your supplies. And also, once you establish your price is your price. Do not feel like you need to lower or lowball, or let someone lowball you because they feel like they can't afford it, or because they told you, well, I could go get it for X, Y, and Z for $10 cheaper. Well, you should probably go on over to X, Y, Z for $10 cheaper. So your price is your price, and it's not up for negotiation. So, and I've had that happen to me before, where, they tried to negotiate with me, and I was like, there's no negotiation. Do you go into Target and try to negotiate their prices and have them come down, or Walmart, or any of these other stores? I doubt it. So my price is my price. Your price is your price, and stick to it, stand on it, and don't change it. Because if a person feels like they can negotiate the price with you, they will. Now, it will be word of mouth, and you'll probably get more business from that person. But guess what? Anyone that they send your way, they're going to tell them to negotiate the price. So here it is. Now, you might be getting more business, but you're having to negotiate this price because of the person that referred these people to you, told them how they were able to get it for X amount of dollars from you, and you don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So stick with your price. Your price is your price. Don't negotiate with your price. Don't drop your price down for nobody. Stand on it. And I swear, I tell people this at least once or twice a week when I have people reaching out to me about pricing. So your price is your price. Do your market research and set your price based on the particular products that you're selling. Let's see. Oh, software. So, as if you're starting a business, especially in the craft space, a garment decorating business, or anything like that, you will want to think about software. Now, are you going to purchase this software and create your own designs? Are you going to be purchasing them from, say, Etsy sellers, or getting them off of Creative Fabrica, something like that? So that's something to consider as well. And this is where that kind of long-term planning comes into play, because you don't want to go out and buy, multiple softwares, and down the line, you're not even going to use those softwares. Now, you can definitely add on, which I would suggest as the time goes on. But just think about that. Do you want to create your own designs? Do you want to purchase them? Do you want to have somebody else create them and you can outsource to someone else? So there's different things to think about there. Do you want to create your own, or do you want to outsource? So definitely think about that. Think about the different softwares, because some of these softwares can get expensive. I have Silhouette Studio, the business edition, that was $99. I have the Rhinestone World's the Wizard, that was like almost $600. I have Coral Draw, that was a couple $100. I have Hot Fix Error, that was $500-$600. Hatch, I have Hatch, that's like $1,100. And actually lately I've been working in Will Combs Embroidery Studio, and that software is like $4,000. So just figure out what it is that you're going to do and kind of see if you can get a almost all-in-one software that's going to do a majority of the things that you need to do. So I can use Silhouette Studio or the Wizard, and I could do a lot of my rhinestone designs. I could do my SVGs. I can do my vinyl designs in those softwares. And then, of course, my Hatch and my Wilcom Embroidery Studio, I could do my designs in there, or my Ricoma Chroma embroidery software. So it just depends on what you want to do. If you want to create your own designs, it will definitely save you money if you can keep everything in-house. But some of the softwares, there could be a bit of a learning curve. So you definitely have to set aside some time to learn those softwares as well. Next, piggybacking off of software would be equipment. So again, going back to what type of items do you want to create? Are you going to need a vinyl cutter? Or, what are you going to need? Are you going to need a heat press? Are you going to need an embroidery machine? Are you going to need sewing machines? So you really want to think about what it is that you're going to be doing. And then just know you can add on down the line, of course. But what machines do you need to start with to get your business going? You will want to consider the cost of the equipment, because nowadays, compared to 2, 3, even 4 years ago, the cost of these machines have shot up. DTF machines, vinyl cutters, embroidery machines, sewing machines, the prices have went up. It seems like the more that the craft space became popular, or more people started doing it or showing themselves as they're doing it, it seemed like these companies kind of were like, hey, we could be charging a little bit more because they're going to buy it anyways. So yeah, the cost of the machine, you want to look at that. The training for the machine, again, that learning curve. And then also you have to maintain your machines. So maintenance. So you have to set aside time to maintain your machines. I do that with my brother embroidery machine, my Ricoma. I do it with my sewing machines. You want to maintain your machines to keep them in tip-top condition so they can keep cranking out them orders for you. So with the equipment, you definitely want to consider again what it is that you're going to be doing and what your price point is. Set your price point and then stay within that. Don't go above that. When it comes to embroidery machines, I always tell people go for the biggest size hoop that you can afford, because you will eventually outgrow a 4x4 hoop unless maybe you're just making patches, or maybe you're making keychains, or you're making small items where you don't need a larger hoop than 4x4. But I always say when it comes to embroidery machines, purchase the machine with the biggest hoop that you can comfortably afford. And just remember, there's going to be maintenance. You're going to have to get some, most machines are going to come with tools, but you may have to get a screwdriver, get in there, clean it out, dust it out. You may have to oil your machine on a regular basis, things like that. So just keep that in mind, that you definitely have to maintain your machine. And then the last thing I want to touch on is don't overwhelm yourself. Never compare yourself to what somebody else is doing, whether it's a business owner, a content creator, or whatever. Don't look at what they're doing as, even though they may be successful, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what they had to do to get there and what they're doing to stay there. So never compare yourself to another business owner, another content creator, any of that. Use a calendar or set a schedule. Wherever I go, my iPad pretty much goes. I use this iPad pretty much all day, every day. So I have, I use Notion and GoodNotes. So I have my personal planner, I have a content planner, things like that. I have ideas that I write. I have notebooks with ideas that I write down with different topics or take notes, things like that. But I'm a huge planner, and if you're going to be doing multiple things, running a business, maybe doing classes, doing one-on-ones, doing content, you definitely want to have some type of structure. You want to have some type of schedule where you're going to record your videos, edit your videos, or whatever the case may be. I have certain days those days I'm just working on designs, whether it's embroidery designs, rhinestone designs, tumbler designs, or whatever. I have another day where I'm gonna maintenance my machines, and I go through and maintenance all of my machines. And then another day I have scheduled for doing my content and things like that. So just have yourself a schedule, a planner, a calendar, something so you can stay organized. Because trust me, if you just kind of just try and wing it, you're gonna burn yourself out, because you're always gonna be thinking about what can I do next? What's the next video I can do, or what can I make now? So I just keep a list. As ideas come to my mind, I just type them down in my Notion calendar or my content planner. And when I'm like, okay, what video am I gonna record today? I'll look at that and be like, oh, I can do this one. And then I'll go ahead and make the content for that particular video. So that way I'm not out of ideas, and I'm not just putting out anything just to make a video. So have a schedule. You will thank yourself. You'll thank me later for it too. Another thing, in order to prevent burnout, because if you're working a job, doing content creation, and running a business, it can get very tiresome. Trust me, I know I've been to the point of burnout, and I've learned when I start to get to that point, I take a break. Whether it's 1 week or 2 weeks, I'm not posting nothing. Maybe I'll just post a TikTok, or I'll upload some shorts. I learned it's okay to take a break. Don't feel like you need to crank out videos every day. Again, that goes back to having a schedule. Set a schedule. Do you want to post videos once a week, twice a week? Do you want to go live once a week, twice a month, whatever the case may be? Kind of set up that schedule so you can build up that habit and build up that routine. over time. So definitely, if you feel stressed, if you feel like, okay, this is becoming too much, or you're just trying to pump out content just for the sake of it, people can pick that up. I know I can pick it up in others' videos where I'm like, okay, they just threw this video up here, like whatever. But just make sure you take time for yourself, your mental health, to kind of sit back and relax and regroup, refocus, revamp, whatever the case may be. Just take time for yourself to prevent burnout, because it is real. I also work a 9 to 5. I run my business, I do content, and still find time to do a date weekend or have a date day every week with my husband. So you definitely have to plan things out, schedule things out, and just have it set up where it works for you. It has to work for you in order for you to put out that quality content for your viewers that they will continue to watch. So those are just some of the items or some of the points that I've noticed that I've done and I've seen others do. Again, going back to making sure you're branding and registering your business, you're really putting thought into your business name, and you're setting those goals for yourself. When it comes to your garments and your products, making sure you're testing on a cheaper material than what it is you're going to be selling to your customer, so you don't end up taking a loss there. Also setting up those wholesale vendor accounts. Those are going to be a lifesaver. They're going to save you so much money. So I definitely suggest hop on those right away. Even if you've already started your business, I would jump on it right now and start getting those vendor accounts set up, start building those relationships, establishing your prices, do your research, and don't negotiate that price. Your price is your price, and that's what it is. And advertising and marketing, there's so many options there. I see people that are on TikTok for 6-7 hours a day. It couldn't be me. But I'm like, you are dedicated if you're on TikTok for 7-8 hours a day, like just working on orders or, working on designs or whatever the case may be. Like, no, sometimes I just need a break and away from the camera to just do me. And that is completely okay. And then your software and your equipment, a lot of the equipment will come with the software. If you buy a Cricut machine, you're going to get Design Space. If you buy a Silhouette machine, I believe you'll only get the free version of Silhouette Studio, but then you can upgrade from there. So a lot of the machines come with the software. So that's something that you can look into as well. And then don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you prevent burnout and that you don't tire yourself out, and do not look at someone else's success and start questioning your success or where you're at. Never compare yourself to someone else, regardless if it's business or if it's content creation. Again, you don't know what their struggle was, and vice versa. And your path and their path, they're two different ones. You're both gonna, even though you might be in the same craft space or business, similar type of business, your path and their path is not the same. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. That will also cause you to start stressing out, wondering why you're not doing good as X, Y, and Z, regardless of what it is. So that was all that I had today. I just wanted to chat with you for a minute and kind of go over these. But if you faced any of these challenges getting started as a new business owner, let me know what you did to overcome those, or if these are some tips that you really didn't think about that you're going to implement going forward, or as you're considering starting a business or turning your craft hobby into a business. But just because you do have a hobby, you can still create content. You don't necessarily have to turn that into a business. You can just have a love for it and you want to show other people how to make it. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're making something and you're filming it and you're posting it on social media that you automatically have to start a business. So that's definitely up to you to do. But thank you guys so much for watching today's tutorial. Well, I was going to say tutorial video because this was not a tutorial, but I do have some tutorials coming for you over the next week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.